Where do you want to begin? I mean, there's lots there, and lots is developed overnight, Wab Kinew.
Yeah, there's a lot going on around the province. So why don't we start in the PA, OCN, Kelsey region? First off, to Delaney and to everybody who's been displaced and on the move, I just want to send you our support and our best wishes. And thanks for taking care of the little one with you and keeping the spirits up, because you got to have morale high in a situation like this. And what I would say also to the municipal leaders and the folks who are that first line of response, thanks for everything you did yesterday. Thanks for everything you're doing today. I can tell you that yesterday was an extremely challenging day for the Manitoba Wildfire Service. Really, really stressful. A lot of serious situations around the province. So I want to acknowledge their good work as well, too. And we've got firefighters from across the province, local firefighters who've responded and stepped up to help us battle the blazes, both in this part of the province. We were looking at a situation near the gold mine that's under construction in Lynn Lake area. Thankfully, we're getting some help with the rain there. And then, of course, on the east side of Lake Winnipeg, a fire near Black River also causing concern. Some preliminary precautionary evacuations, people with, breathing conditions, things like that. So unfortunately, we do have Manitobans out of their homes today. We had some folks from that Kelsey area that we were just talking about who've been moved to Swan River. Obviously, you had Delaney there talking about, picking up from her sister's place and going to OCN. And today, just that lack of rain that we've had has been a big challenge. So we're responding. We're going to have a fulsome update that we'll be keeping the public via the media informed of, both in terms of the fire activity and potential situation with evacuees. And hopefully the weather comes through. The last thing I'd like to mention just at the outset is we've also brought in addition to the fire ban, a backcountry travel ban. So even if you're heading out to Whiteshell, Birds Hill, please check online in terms of what the activities are. It's a very challenging situation already. I think everyone in Manitoba wants to show support. So as you head out this weekend for your plans, please take a look at what all the restrictions are.
How much does the province, Manitoba, do when it comes to actively trying to prevent forest fires? Like, do we do controlled burns, removal of deadfalls in some areas that are especially susceptible?
Yeah, there's a lot of that activity that's happening, and there's a lot of collaboration with folks in the regions too. We also are investing in technology. We recently put the orders through for new water bombers to upgrade our fleet here in Manitoba.
How much do you wish those could come faster, though? Because that could be 6 months out at least, right?
It's years, actually. We have to put the money down for planes to arrive years from now in the future. And they're expensive. We're talking $80 million down payment. The price tag is north of that in the future. But the bottom line is we need that prevention work and collaborating with local folks. We need the training, including the work that's going on near Thompson for our firefighters. We got a great wildfire service. Again, thank you to all those folks, because not only are they fighting the blaze, but we also have a lot of great intelligence and analysis going on there. And then, of course, we need the best tools for the people fighting the fires and people helping the evacuees along the way.
Just to the point made by our Lori Forbes from the RM of Kelsey, that immediate reaction comes, difficult to predict because the wind shifts and it happens fast. But then there are areas where, it seems to often be piecemeal. In these situations, we've had wildfire issues in the past, and then people will sort of evacuate, and then the Red Cross often is called in, and then there's questions about reimbursement for the food, the volunteers, what's happening with people who have to put money out of pocket. What about the financial support for these different municipalities that are dealing with this?
Yeah, the way it works is if it's a First Nation, then that's when the Red Cross gets invoked. And if it's off reserve, then it's the municipal level that responds first. And that's pretty much across the board. Like even when Birchwood Terrace, a non-fire situation, an apartment building that was at risk, it's the city that responds for the first 72 hours. But of course, as the province, because we work so closely with municipalities, we do have that layer of response. And because we are engaged with the Red Cross, we do also have involvement in that level of response. So it really is about collaboration. And if there are situations where more resources are needed to make sure that people will be safe, we'll be there to step up.
Do you think collaboration should be or could be improved? We do hear a lot of challenges with it.
I think there's always room to learn after you have a situation like this. The first thing is to get through the emergency period. And then afterwards, if there are issues that need to address, let's be a learning organization as a province.
Let's switch gears here.
Sure.
Thank you for responding to what was happening live this morning
It's
here.
really serious. Yeah.
Let's talk about the plan to end chronic homelessness and where your government is at. So, last report said that a dozen people living at 5 downtown Winnipeg encampments had been moved into housing units. Tell me a little bit about where you're at this morning. And I know that weather's warming up now. Encampments are returning to some green spaces. You had said that let's move to this, make sure camps are cleaned up. There may be people worried now. Maybe people are concerned seeing camps return.
Yeah, no, I'm concerned. And I think everyone is because of the lack of dignity and then all the issues in neighborhoods that get caused too. So where we're at right now is we've moved 33 people. You'll actually get a more fulsome update today from our minister and some of their team. But we've moved 33 people and addressed 17 different encampments in the city of Winnipeg. The other big news to share is that we've got 67 more housing units to house folks coming online. So we'll be able to move, again, an additional amount of people out of tents and into housing.
What does that mean? Where will they be or coming online? I just want to understand what that means.
It means 67 more apartments will be opened up so that we can move people out of tents and
Do you know
into
where?
housing. I wouldn't share it on the radio because of privacy concerns for people who will be moving into those
In the city
units.
though, in the downtown.
Yeah,
Okay.
for the most part. Some of it is outside of downtown because, again, we see homeless. It's not just a downtown problem anymore, unfortunately, right? We see it in other parts of the city. So we're trying to be flexible with the areas there. What I would say has been successful so far is everyone that we have housed so far is still housed. Nobody has moved back into a tent since we've started this Your Way Home initiative. The other positive thing is that relationship building, working together approach. I think there's always, people with good hearts and strong views in the sector. And the fact that we still have everyone working together and at the table, I think, is a very positive sign. But when we came in on the election, we said this is going to take 8 years. We're talking about a group of about 700 Manitobans that we're trying to get out of tents and into housing. So we're about a year and a half, 2 years into that plan. We're starting to make progress. It's going to take continued effort to see the results we want.
Any plan, Premier, that's that big, obviously, to end chronic homelessness and has a goal like that, you're going to learn things along the way. What have you learned? You've talked about what you learned about what's working. You still have that coordination. You have people still staying in the places where you've moved people. You see those as positives. What have you learned that's not working? Where are you thinking you need to tweak or go back to say, okay, maybe this was a bit too ambitious, or we might need to change this part of our strategy?
Well, the biggest thing is the lack of housing units, and it takes time. Even if you're buying an existing housing unit, it can take a year or two to do the necessary renovations and to open that up. So again, coming out of 7 years of no housing being added, that really puts us behind the 8 ball. But credit to the people involved with this, whether it's the folks in encampments who are actually asking us, when is it my turn? When am I going to get moved out of a tent? To the people in the non-for-profit sector who've been doing great work on the front lines for years. Salome, Main Street Project, Sunshine. We could go on down the list. There's so many great people there. And then, of course, the people at the various levels of government, not just ours, but the City of Winnipeg, Brandon, and so on down the list, as well as First Nations and Indigenous organizations. So the people are really doing great work. I wish we could just snap our fingers and have the housing units that we needed, and then it would just be a matter of connecting people with services. But we're trying to coordinate building the new units, taking care of issues on the street, and then getting people the services, mental health and addictions and others that they need. Healthcare.
8:28, Premier Wab Kinew live in studio for our monthly interview. We always switch gears and change tones. So in our last minute here, why don't we talk about the Jets? Is everyone off today in Manitoba or what? Because, we need to stay up late tonight.
Yeah, well, good thing tomorrow's Saturday, right? And I don't know if you can tell from my voice, but 2 home games so far this week has not left me with, the ability to speak as clearly as I might like.
Do you think Game 7 ruined us? Is that why people need to watch the end of all the games?
Well, you can't leave the game early now. There's always a chance with the Jets. And so, if it's a late game, if there's overtime, we're going to be watching right to the end. Let's make sure that we're willing our team to victory here. Go Jets, go.
Thank you for being here. Any timeline on the just to end where we began? Is there any timeline on when we'll hear about the wildfire updates from the provincial point of view, or should we just report as we understand that as the day unfolds?
There'll be ongoing updates. You will get like a formal bulletin later today, probably midday. And what I would say is one of the big things we're watching right now is the weather. If the wind is helpful in the Paw region or that Black River region, that could really make a difference for us today.
Okay, thank you very much for being
you.
here. That is Premier Wab Kinew in our regular monthly interview.